In 30 years of selling pianos, I've watched a lot of revolutionary teaching methods come and go. And this week, everyone in the piano world's talking about the new Payam method. Now, you've probably already seen the videos about the pedagogy. I'm not going to rehash all of that because what nobody's talking about, the part that actually matters if you're a piano parent, is the business model. And for where I'm standing in this industry, that is the real story. Welcome to Living Pianos. Robert Estrin here, and today I want to give you my honest, unfiltered take on Payam music and their 60 Minutes moment. Because here's the thing, there is something genuinely exciting buried in the story, and there is something that concerns me deeply as someone who has spent decades inside this industry. Let me start with what Payam gets right. Student choice, joy, improvisation. These are not gimmicks. I've seen students quit piano lessons because of rigid, joyless instruction. Lessons that felt like punishment. So when Payam Cascade says classical theory tends to strip the joy, I understand exactly what he's responding to. That's a real problem. And the desire to fix it, that I genuinely respect. I actually have a very different approach myself. I believe repertoire, music students genuinely love, is what keeps people at the piano for life. So on that fundamental principle, Payam and I are not far apart. If Payam, its substantial financial investment helps to grow the piano world, I'm all for it. But here's where my perspective is different from the piano teachers you've been hearing from. I haven't just been teaching piano, I've been selling pianos for decades. I've watched this industry from the inside, and I've seen this exact story before, just with different characters. A passionate founder, a revolutionary claim, celebrity investors, a 60-minute segment, rapid expansion, and then something happens. Let me tell you what that something usually is. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is what 60 Minutes couldn't fit in. Payam Music charges between $100 and $110 per 50-minute lesson. That's at the high end of private instruction. And there's nothing wrong with that if the quality backs it up. But look who's teaching those lessons. Their job listing, and I'm not making this up, lists piano teaching experience as preferred qualification, not required, preferred. An intermediate level of piano playing is not preferred, not required. I mean, come on. What? So let me ask you something. Who is actually going to take a job paying $25 an hour, the bottom of their range, while the student is paying $100? Who's willing to teach someone else's proprietary system with someone else's materials for 25 cents on the dollar? Not experienced, credentialed piano teachers. They got their own studios. They keep all of their own fees. They teach exactly how they want. The people who will take that job are beginners, former students, people who need the work. And I have nothing against any of those people. Some of the most enthusiastic teachers I've ever met were young and newly trained. But let's be honest about what you're getting for $100 a lesson. Here's what 30 years in the piano industry teaches you. I've watched brands I respected get acquired by investors, expand to hundreds of locations, and within 5 years, the instruments coming out of those factories were unrecognizable. Not because the original founders had bad intentions, because when you scale fast, quality becomes almost impossible to maintain. Piano education is different from piano manufacturing, yes. But the economic pressure is identical. When investors need returns, and Mark Cuban, Haiti Petrovi, and Hans Zimmer, they're not doing this out of love for the Beethoven. Expansion becomes the strategy, and when expansion is a strategy, the teacher in the room is the first thing that gets cheapened. And the teacher in the room is the only thing that actually matters. Looking at the Payam website, there are almost no teachers signed up yet. It makes you wonder if this business model is even viable. I want to know what you're thinking right now. Leave it in the comments here at livingpianos.com and subscribe for more videos. Are you a piano parent who's been looking at Payam? A teacher? I'm really interested in your perspective. Stay with me because I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for. Here's the really good news. The principles Payam talks about, student choice, joy, creativity, not being a slave to the method books, these are not new, and they're not exclusive to Payam music. There are thousands of excellent piano teachers across America who have always taught this way. The difference is they're not backed by Mark Cuban and they didn't get a 60-minute segment. So what should you look for in a piano teacher? First, someone with real playing experience and a track record with students, not an intermediate player who has hired last month. Second, someone who genuinely loves music. You can feel that in a lesson within the first 5 minutes. Third, someone whose students actually progress. Ask to speak with current or former students and their parents. No legitimate teacher will refuse that request. And here's the exception, the one scenario where Payam might actually be the right call. If you are in a remote area with very limited access to quality teachers and the alternative is nothing, then a structured, creative, joyful program with a motivated young teacher may genuinely be better than nothing. Although there are online teachers like myself. So here's my honest verdict on the Payam method. The philosophy, joy, creativity, meeting students where they are. This is good. And I hope it challenges the entire piano education world to do better. That would be a wonderful legacy. But the business model concerns me. I've seen this movie and I want every piano parent watching this to go in with open eyes. Because you don't have to wait for a venture capital-backed startup to find a great piano teacher. They already exist. They're teaching in your city right now. And they're not charging you for a brand. I'm Robert Estrin. Any questions, put them here in the comments at livingpianos.com or on YouTube. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.